Hello there and welcome back. In this video we are going to take a look at how you can create a script which is going to perform a specific task, and basically you want to ensure that if this script is scheduled, it is not going to run parallelly with an older instance that may be stuck or not running as expected or whatnot. So for this I'm going to use my Fedora 32 machine, which has Python 3.8 installed. So now that we have gotten this one out of the way, let's say that we would like to create a directory called my app. And inside this my app directory, we would like to create the PID folder. And this is going to be a crucial part of our script. So let's create our custom app.py. And what we would like to do is to import the OS module and import the signal module. This is only going to work on Linux-based systems. On Windows, you cannot use the signal to terminate an older or previous running process. Okay, now what we would like to do is to define some variables. So the current working directory will come from the os.path.sep.join, and what we would like to do is to have the os.path.ubs.path for the current file that we are executing split into os.path.sep, and we would like to have the colon -1. If we print the cwd, what you will see is the following: 0.8 custom app, that we are in the current directory for our application. And what we would like to do in the custom application is to define the PID. So the PID is going to come from the os.path.sep.join, and this takes a list, and we have the cwd and the PID as folder name. So let's print this one out as well. And if we run it, we can see that we have this directory present. Now what we need to do is to define our PID file. So basically what we would like to have is the os.path.sep, which is the separator, joined on the PID and PID file. And let's print this one out as well. PID file. And now we have this file which is supposed to store our state or the PID or the process ID for the previous instance. So how do we go from here? What we need to make sure before every run is to verify whether we have a PID file. If we have a PID file, whether we have a process ID with the same PID. If we have the process ID with the same PID at the moment running, then we would like to kill it. Otherwise, we would like to delete the PID file and create a new PID file. And that's it. So how do we go about that? What we need to do is to basically check if the os.path.is file is valid for the PID file. Then we say that we have something to kill. Otherwise, we say that there is no previous instance running at the moment. Great, but how do we kill this process, and how do we make sure that we have a PID file for the current instance? So now what we would like to do is to import the time module. So time module is going to simulate a long running task. So time.sleep, and let's give it 30 seconds. Okay, now we have something to kill, but how do we kill it? So what we need to do is to basically read whether we have a content of a PID file into an integer, and then pass it to the signal module to kill that specific process or thread or whatever. So now what we would like to do is to try with the width open PID file as read, and we would like to basically get the old PID from the integer conversion of the PID file that read, except exception as E, and we would like to say that could not convert the PID, and we would like to print it as an F string. And after this is done, what we would like to do is to check if we have the old PID, and otherwise what we would like to do is to basically say that the old PID is, hold on, old PID is none, so now what we need to do is whether we have an old PID or not. So if we have an old process ID, we need to make sure that we try to use the os.kill old PID and say after it is done that successfully killed the old process. Otherwise, what we would like to do is to failed to kill the old process because of E, and we would like to use an F string for that. But so if we have an old process ID, we are able to kill it whether or not. And then what we need to take into consideration is basically two situations. So one is whether we don't have a process like that. The second is that we were unable to kill it because of permission issues or whatnot. So basically we need to divide this into two different sections. So process look up error as E, no such process. The other one is that we have an exception which is not the result of the no such process, so we were unable to kill it. So what we would like to do is to raise a system exit, because we do not know why we were unable to kill it, but this is not going to work definitely. Otherwise, what we can see is that the older process cannot be found. And if we go back here, otherwise we do not have a previous instance running. And once we have like completed the execution, so after the time sleep, what we need to do is to check if os.path.is file let's call it pid file. Then we would like to try the os.kill and otherwise we just say that the killing has failed. And because this is the end of the execution, we don't really care about the results. But what we would also, not kill, sorry, os.remove pid file. Great. So we would like to print that the lock has been removed. Great. And we have an else case here. Print no pid to remove. So now if we go ahead with Python 3.8 with the custom app, you will see that there is no previous instance. If I log into the Fedora machine, what you will see is that when I go to the desktop and execute the custom, the my app, so here I execute the custom app.py, it says there is no previous instance. What? Dear pid. What? So now what we have, oh come on. So with open pid file, write as pid file, what we need to do is to pid file that write, and we would like to get the my pid equal to os.get pid, and that should work because it was working in my production script. So my pid is os.get pid, and we would like to write it to a specific file. Great. My pid. And it is taking a string, not an integer. So string. Now if we run it, all the process cannot be found. come on. So print my PID. And what we would like to have here when we are killing is the sig kill. So signal sig kill. Now we have the PID, something to kill, no such process because it's not running anymore, and Python 3.8 custom PI app. We have something to kill, successfully kill the process, and it shows that this was killed. Now the second thing that we would like to do is to check the PID's content and remove not remove it, just rerun it. So now, as you can see, we have a new PID. We have something to kill, but there is no such process. So if we go to the PID file, we will have this written here, and this matches up there. And basically that was almost all I wanted to show you, but let's just verify it. So custom app.py, we check the PID. If we have a file, we kill it. If we don't, we are not killing it. And after that, we write the PID file, and then we wait 30 seconds. And if we have such PID file, we are going to not kill it, but rather remove it. And basically that was all I wanted to show you. So this is how you can ensure in your Python script that only one instance is running at a given time on your Linux machines. And make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.